Welcome, dear listener, to episode 72. I'm James.
I'm Mike, and we are...
Last to the party of the show where we talk about all things nerdy goodness. Hey, dear listener, buckle up. We're taking a trip down comic book lane tonight as we discuss... Mike, what do we have for him?
What? You had me on a cliff, and then you dropped me off in a cliffhanger in classic comic book fashion. Good job, little brother. We are going deep into DC Comics because, sadly, the cinematic universe just isn't what it should be. But their writing and their animated movies are still spanking the crap out of the competition. And Nth Metal is a major case in point. For those that don't understand, we're going to be delving. We're not going to give all the plot points because we want to save something for you. This episode is, of course, inspired by the Rob Corp. Comics Explained on YouTube. Let me tell you something. Yep. Woo. We're going to have that link in the show notes.
We absolutely will. Now, this is based off a 4.5 hour long YouTube video. Be prepared to watch as many Chevy Malibu commercials as your heart can stand, but it's completely worth it. Rob does such a good job. This is the second episode that we've done completely piggybacking off of Rob's material. Rob, if you ever listen to this, thank you so much. Your content is so choice.
Yes.
I wish we could have been at New York Comic-Con to get a Rob Corp ring from you. That would have been I would be honored to be a member of the Rob Corp.
Indeed.
So.
Yeah, so the premise, what is going on? Okay, so for those that don't know.
All the things.
There's been a thing going on for a while in DC Comics called the multiverse. And Marvel has something similar where you have alternate versions of Earth in multiple parallel dimensions, each with their own spin. The new 52 kind of added on to the fact that there were 52 universes. Well, just like the Dark Multiverse and Nth Metal introduced the concept of negative numbered multiverses. So basically, where nightmares go to be real. It is really the theme of this thing, and how they want to intrude on the positive multiverse. We're not going to say how. We're not going to give you every plot point and whatever, because we want you to go explore this. But just the thought that this has been going since Scott Snyder took over on Batman and built it up clear back in Court of Owls and built this thing in a slow simmer and then added the spices like a chef should, and then by the time it got to the dinner plate, you were oohing and ahhing, and I did not suspect that to be a thing, and you're wowed. You are so wowed. I cannot wait to get and read this myself. I did the same thing when Rob did Injustice, and I cannot wait to get this myself. Oh man, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I want to try to find, like, you know how Kingdom Come was like in like one trade paperback, like huge thick book? Mm-hmm. That's what I want to. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the huge, 500 page, 200, whatever it is, page, just amalgamation of boom. I need to do this as well with Brightest Day and Blackest Night in the Green Lantern universe.
Yes.
But I'm kind of waiting for that because I don't want to track down all the individual books.
Yeah,
I'm a lazy comic book reader.
And you have to be careful too, because some of them, like if you read Civil War, there's an entire different Civil War story that ran alongside that called Frontlines that basically dealt with the Civil War aspect or the story arc from the journalist's point of view. So if you just pick up Civil War, you almost miss that. So you got to watch how it's collected. But I do agree that it is a trippy ride.
Yeah. So what DC's basically done here is rewrite everything that we've come to know in the DC universe. And I say that, and Mike's laughing, but
it's kind of the truth.
I'm not really wrong. I mean,
no.
The Joker sort of says it. We open with Green Lantern and this guy named Signal. Signal?
I believe
was that his name?
Yeah.
Beacon? Signal? Bat? Signal? Dude in yellow. I don't know what his name is. I apologize.
They kind of haven't flushed him out, and that's a shame. His name's Duke. He's an African-American lad from the streets of Gotham. He's not a Robin. He's his own thing. And we find out more about what he is in this. But
Right. And they find the Guardians of the Universe are telling Hal Jordan to go investigate the Batcave because Batman's doing something he's not supposed to.
which, not the first time that's happened.
It's the first time the Guardians have been like, hey, go check on your boy. Because that's never happened. They're the Guardians of the freaking universe. And they're like, hey, you know that one human on Earth? Can you make him quit whatever he's doing, please?
He's Batman. He'll beat me.
They head down there. They find the Joker, and the Joker explains something that made me. I was watching this video, and when I heard what Joker explains, I literally went, ugh.
Yeah.
I made that noise. I went, oh, what? Mm-hmm. Apparently, the word meta has been used in the DC universe to describe someone with powers since, the 90s.
Yes,
right?
They wanted to compete with the term mutant because X-Men ran with that so hard. Mutant. Have you seen the mutants? What about the mutants? So that was their term for it, was a meta.
Right.
A meta-human, an over-human, a stronger version of a human, for lack of a better term.
Right. So the Joker explains the way Joker explains things and says, well, you see, back in ancient times, they could only fit, you had to raise a flag. And they would test everybody's blood, and you could raise a flag to let them know that you found a substance. And the substance they were looking for was a certain type of metal. And so meta, the reason it's been that way since the beginning of time, is because that's all the letters they could fit on the flag.
Which, honestly, that's what font adjustment is for. Come on, guys.
Right. Yeah,
if you're going to make a flag, you measure twice and you cut once. Come on.
Maybe you should switch from Gothic to New Times Roman and maybe rock a 10 font instead of a 14.
Maybe less bolding. Yeah, I like that.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sure, let's get to press on that.
So what that means is basically in the history of DC Comics, ever since the term meta came forward, all it really meant was that they have Nth Metal in their blood. Yes. So if you're Barry Allen and the dark reactor goes off in Central City and the wave shoots across town and a lightning bolt hits you at the same time the wave does, knocking all of your chemicals off of your shelf, dousing you in those chemicals, and you wake up in a coma, the only reason you didn't die was because you had Nth Metal in your blood because you are a meta.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, so it's just amazing. So with the exception of like Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, they are included.
They are included.
That's it.
Yeah.
Batman, GL, Wonder Woman, Superman, everyone else.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter, everyone else. Dr. Fate, crap. Everyone else.
There are a few, but not many.
So yeah, there's like 7 or 8 heroes in the entire DC universe that don't have Nth Metal in them. People who don't require it. Batman, I guess, is included. Because he does have it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he definitely has it now.
Yeah. So essentially what it means is, hey, unless you're an alien or... No, that's it. An alien or you have an alien artifact or a god-like artifact on you. Anything else. And the only reason you're a superhero or can stand to be one or stand the events that made you one is because of Nth Metal being in your blood.
Yes. And
holy retcon, Batman.
Exactly. It's a brilliant masterstroke. It's a wonderful way to really paint the picture of what happens to Batman and sets him up for him being the catalyst to all this, which is awesome. If you go on the computer type things or your smartphone-y stuff and you type in to your search bar-ism Dark Knight's Metal, you're going to get one of several thousand pictures. The primary one is a bunch of different versions of Batman standing there, and they're all saying, "I'm right here."
Right.
And as you look at them, you realize it's literally a dark remix of Batman and a Justice League character in each person. So the next question is, why, Joms? That's James's dark multiverse names. Joms. Why so many Batmen? What is up?
So Batman was thrown backwards in time during a New 52 event where he got hit by Darkseid's Omega beams. And unlike every other character in the DC universe, when they get hit by the Omega beams, he didn't die because of comic book sales and Batman and licensing rights. He instead, I guess because of Nth Metal. So he went back in time. He was displaced throughout time, going back to the beginning of man. And what this means was that he just started drawing bats everywhere, right?
To remind himself of who he was.
So he draws bats on caves. He draws bats on loincloths, I would assume. Draws them on dead.
Making the first official ancient pair of bat underoos.
Bataroos, yeah. Drawing
no belt
them
required.
On pterodactyl faces.
Oh,
I don't know.
Time.
Everything.
Everything.
Just everything he can.
H3 bat pterodactyl. I love it.
He displaced through time. We'll get back to him in a minute. Essentially what this does is this forms ancient tribes. Okay? We are extremely skimming this subject, by the way. This is not going to be
I really
review.
Didn't even mean to. I didn't even mean to go this far back, but...
Right, which is fine. Essentially, I don't know. Well, when we did Injustice 2, dear listener, I mean, if you want to know anything about the Injustice DC comic universe, we did that. We did everything you need to know going into Injustice 2, the video game, and we broke down the whole story like Rob does in the videos. Mike and I are trying to avoid that for your listening pleasure. Essentially, why so many Batman? There's this dude named Barbados, and he realizes that Batman is the key to coming to the positive multiverse because he's A, been displaced throughout time, B, it's kind of his nightmares that have been fueling all of his power. C, he's been exposed to every type. There's 5 different types of metals.
Something like that.
But besides the ones that are on Earth, there are 5 ultra powerful styles of metals. One of them being Nth Metal, one being 10th Metal. I guess there's 10. There's 1 through 10.
Well, 10th Metal is what they find at the Forge, yeah.
Right.
Nth Dionysium, couple others, yeah. One we're not going to name because, I mean, that is just interesting twist-like stuff. But
Batman's the key to bringing hell on Earth, essentially. Yeah. What's Barbados's main goal?
Barbados's main goal is to open up a bunch of sea-style restaurants offering seafood and brimstone to their customers. Barbados wants to bring the Dark
Cajun-style shrimp.
And
really
every good wizardish general, he comes prepared. He brings an army, and his army, I want you to think on the terms, dear listener, of the old Elseworld comic lines, of the what ifs of comic lore, and only make Batman the bad guy in all of them. And that's essentially where these other Batmen come from. What if Batman, for example, became the god of war?
Right.
What if Batman...
But none of these are that simple. So let's
they're not that simple. But that's a simplified explanation on something.
Right.
And I mean, they all of them have origins.
They're great.
Honestly, the Drowned is cool. The one where basically Atlantis is announcing themselves to the world, and that world's version of Bruce, who is a woman who I can't remember her name, basically genetically modifies herself to basically be an Atlantean's worst nightmare, and then wrecks house on them. And it's just like, what? So when they get here, none of our heroes are prepared to take on that level of power from any of them, yet alone one of them.
Right. So let's just start left to right, and
Oh,
I'll make this the image, and we'll give a little backstory on what we're looking at here, because it's amazing.
It is amazing.
So left to right, we start with the Drowned, who, like Mike said, is a female Bruce Wayne. In her world, she's not called Brucina, or
that would
essentially
be
it's Batwoman. It's Batwoman, but it doesn't have Batwoman's name. So in all of these events that take place, it's always with the best
intentions.
But like Rob says in Comics Explained, it only takes one bad day.
Yes.
From the famous line from the Joker in The Killing Joke, it only takes one bad day to make Bruce Wayne the Joker. So in Batwoman's, in the Drowned's case, like Mike said, genetically modified herself to be an Atlantean, and while doing that, gave herself the ability to spit this dark water stuff underwater, to which it instantly genetically modifies the people that she's killed to rise back up and be dark Atlanteans. And then because the reason she's called the Drowned is because she drowned her entire planet.
Yes. She might have gone a little overboard.
Right.
A little overboard.
And she's dressed like a pirate and has killed Aquaman with his own trident.
Yes.
Amazing. Impressive.
On her world. On her world.
Yes.
On her.
Next one over. What's this guy's name?
Which I'm not looking at the image.
It's the Doomsday one.
Oh, the Devastator. Devastator.
Devastator Batman.
What if Superman snapped and it just like Injustice, it ruins your friendship. It wrecks you. The one person that you can rely on and betrays everything he loves. Only in this one, Batman doesn't turn to kryptonite. He doesn't turn to some aliens in the sky.
Nope.
Batman rewrites the Doomsday Serum.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like the Hulk, turns into this Doomsday Bruce Wayne hybrid, and it is monstrous and bad.
Yeah, I don't think this one gets enough credit. So take everything that Batman is.
Yes.
And then give him Doomsday durability, strength, rage.
Yeah, and that's what's so dangerous about it. I mean, that's right up there with World War Hulk level of because of the intelligence and malice that Bruce gets. And he demonstrates it in the comic with Lois. I'm not going to give any spoilers after that, but dude, that was messed up.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
pretty great. Moving on, we've got the Cyborg one.
Oh, yes. Oh, why
And
am I blanking on that?
I know all their names past here.
Killing Machine?
It's
not Killing Machine. It's...
Professional podcasters.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Are you doing it or am I?
I'm looking. Hang on.
Okay. Well, basically what happens is there is a death in Batman's family, and it rocks him to his core, in a way that other deaths have not. So he I'm not saying who, because who it is just shocking. So he goes to
shocking, but makes complete sense.
Yes. And basically,
that's what's awesome about none of these are that far of a stretch.
They really aren't. They all are within the realms of logic. They're all within the realms of capability for the comic. They're all within the realms of Bruce's intelligence, which is just chilling. So basically, they create an AI, and the AI decides, you know what, I'm going to murder all the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Bruce tries to stand
overnight,
up to stop it, Overnight.
It happens in one night. All
Yes.
of Batman's rogues galleries just end up dead.
Because this family member, this member of the Bat family goes Skynet, and when Bruce tries to intercede, they pretty much fuse with Bruce into this downloaded cybernetic version of Batman, and Bruce is like, I'm okay with this. And so they start wiping out everybody as well.
So-and-so and I are reunited.
Yeah.
This is what I've always wanted. I'm good to go. So basically you take Cyborg, Iron Man, and Batman and fuse them.
Yes.
And you get the Murder Machine.
The Murder Machine.
Probably not the best, probably my least favorite named.
Yes.
Of all of them. One of the more interesting stories.
Yes. I agree with you.
But still. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Moving on. We have...
Bring it.
We have... hang on. 10 seconds.
Professional
4,
podcasting.
3. I know the name. I just want to see... I just want to see the... Okay, cool. So, the next one is The Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, man. The best. I'm so glad that they put him off for so long. That built so much suspense.
Yeah, so The Batman Who Laughs essentially is Bruce's own worst nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Thus, he's the leader of the awful Batman Nightmare Squad. That's their official name. T-shirt pending.
There you go.
I just want a
Name's
silhouette of all of these guys, and then the name of the front of the T-shirt is just the awful Batman Nightmare Squad.
Kind of like the silhouette from Batman the Animated Series, only not.
Right, exactly.
I get
awful
that.
Batman Nightmare Squad. So essentially what happens is... when the Joker of Earth -22 forces Batman to watch as he reenacts the Wayne's family's deaths, the stress of the situation drives Batman to lash out and finally kill the Joker by choking him to death. As the Joker dies, he wisps of Joker toxin seeps out of Joker's mouth and makes its way into Batman's body, eventually leading to the gradual transformation of the Caped Crusader. Exposure to the toxin brings out pieces of Bruce's personality that he had previously fought hard to suppress within himself, and soon Bruce finds that he enjoys his newfound psychological freedom.
Like gunplay and murder parts.
So the part that, and we are going to I'm going to divulge on this one and one other one.
Okay.
This is the other one that I was like, wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So fast forward a year after Batman kills Joker, okay? And the whole Bat family, all of them are in the Batcave practicing. And they all make the comment, man, we haven't done this in ages. Ages. We haven't practiced this hard together like this in ages. And they're all there. Batgirl, Batwoman, Nightwing, all the Robinses. Red Hood. All of them are all there.
Red Robin, all of them are there, yeah.
Yep. And they said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We haven't done this for a while. And Batman's like, well, I always trained you to be my replacement if anything ever happened to me. And guess what, folks? I'm sick. And then he pulls out 2 Uzis and guns them all down.
Yeah. The setup is so like, oh, don't worry, we can find we can lock you away to where you never escape and get help. We'll find the best doctors. And he's like, yeah, I didn't call you here for that. I called you here because if you guys found out, you'd tell the world, and I can't have that. Brrr.
Yeah,
Gone.
Dude, he goes Italian mobster style and just drains both clips into the Bat family.
It's just...
I mean, just...
jaw-droppingly...
While laughing like the Joker, but he's dressed like Batman.
Yes.
But the Bat symbol is bright green.
I know why they switched it up, and he has kind of the trench coaty... throat spike collar look, but my favorite is the green bat symbol and him strutting around after that moment. That is a great costume for that moment. I'm sad they switched it. Yeah.
Man. Okay. So the next one is the Merciless. So during a normal Justice League mission, Ares has basically wiped out a lot of the Justice League, and it's Batman and Wonder Woman left, right?
And really,
I mean,
he thinks Wonder Woman dies in his arms.
so yeah, Wonder Woman takes a huge blow while the rest of the Justice League are fighting off Ares, the god of war, and Batman assumes Diana is dead. On this Earth, Batman, this is Earth negative 12.
Yes.
Not that it matters. Not that we
Not,
have
not at all.
a
It's not like we're
freaking
counting.
roadmap
We
here.
don't have
but,
them mapped out. Google isn't taking us there for dinner.
Right. So essentially what happens is Batman assumes she's dead. Somehow the Ares' helmet gets knocked off. His helmet is what gives the God of War his magnified power and the right to the throne of being the God of War. Batman, in his rage, decides he's had enough, picks up the helmet, puts it on, becomes the God of War, otherwise known as the Merciless.
Oh, yeah.
And kills Ares.
Oh, yeah. And then decides he's not done killing yet.
Yep. And when everybody challenges him, he's like, no, you don't understand. To make sure war has rules from now on and is fair, and none of this happens again, I'm just going to be the God of War. It can't go to anybody else. I'm the only one logical enough to handle it. I've got this. And when the rest of the Justice League steps up, he kills them.
Yes, he does.
All of them. And then he
Including, ironically,
realizes...
Diana.
Right. Well, yeah. And then he realizes Diana is dead. She challenges him, and he snaps her like a twig. So...
Yeah. Get to my boy. Get to my boy. Get to my
I will.
boy.
I will.
Come on now.
He is last. He's all the way to the right.
Okay, wait, which...
Okay.
No,
well, the next
I don't
is
think so.
Next is the Red Death.
There you go.
Okay, so this is your boy. I assumed it was the other one.
This is... Okay, so where all of them are interesting, this is a layer of complexity that the others don't have.
That's true.
Because this is Batman who has snapped.
Yeah.
Who has watched his Bat family die.
Yeah.
And decides that since he can't be everywhere at once, he needs the Speed Force. So somehow tracks down the Flash.
Yeah.
And using Flash's Rogues Gallery's weapons, Bruce Wayne takes down the Flash with Mirror Master stuff and the Batmobile, which is just ingenious. And then ties the Flash like a downed deer to the front of the Batmobile.
Mad Max Fury Road style.
And drives him as fast as he can, and somehow through the power of wetting himself, I don't know exactly. That's the only part that's like, what? They both go into the Speed Force. It tears them apart at the molecular level and then fuses them into one person where Batman's the controlling psyche and Barry Allen is along for the terrifying ride.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, once he's imbued with Barry's powers, Bruce no longer has to live in fear of what he might not be fast enough to stop the war against crime. His new abilities allow the Red Death to finally rid Gotham City of its many criminals once and for all. And at first, Bruce believes that he's made the right decision. But even when his newfound connection to the Speed Force, the Red Death is powerless to prevent Earth Negative 52 from being destroyed, as was destined. When the Batman Who Laughs offers him a chance at another life in the Light multiverse where Earth Prime is located, the Red Death is all too willing to become the first new recruit to the Dark Knights. Here's what's cool about the Red Death character. So not only is he as fast as the Flash, as cunning as Batman, he looks amazing.
Yeah,
he looks so good.
He does look good. He looks good. And even what happens later, it just makes him look even better.
And that's true. And what's interesting here is you have like him saying like his normal Batman stuff, like I am speed, I am blah blah blah, I am vengeance, and then you'll have another dialogue box that's Barry being like, Bruce, stop this. Like, so Barry's still in this guy's head. He's got a normal bat symbol, only it's a flash bolt through the middle of it that isn't connected with either. It's just freaking brilliant.
It is. It really is. I love it.
Yeah. So Red Death is really cool, and then my favorite, obviously, is Dawnbreaker Batman.
This is I like how they retconned it for this because they went right to the source of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
this is
Tell
the
your story.
Dawnbreaker. The most of Dark Knight's stories involve a version of Bruce Wayne killing another member of the Justice League. Dawnbreaker is unique in that it's Bruce's actual begins on Earth Negative 32's Green Lantern. Moments after witnessing the death of his own parents, a young Bruce Wayne is confronted by a Green Lantern power ring that's chosen him for its next suitable owner. And this is important to touch on. So I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. Mike and I forced Mike to wear a Green Lantern ring every episode. We're currently wearing them as we speak. But the reason a ring comes to him is a ring doesn't sit back and say, let's take a full mental picture of that someone. Are they a capable host for the ring? No. All the ring does when it comes to you is says, Mike Robert Perry of Earth, you have the ability to overcome great fear. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. And you can either accept or deny. That's it. That's all there is. So when 8-year-old Bruce hears Bruce Wayne of Earth, Sector 2814, you have the ability to overcome great fear. What was really happening was Bruce was breaking mentally. He was done. He went into almost a sociopathic. He felt nothing when his parents died. Not fear, not anguish, not greed, not rage, not anything. So he was supposed to be afraid. He's an 8-year-old boy with a gun to his head, sitting in a pool of his parents' blood, pearls everywhere. We've all seen.
Yes. Yeah.
The scene.
Every incarnation of any Batman movie.
Yeah.
In our
so. That's why the ring came to him. The ring came to him because he overcame that fear. Had the ring taken a full picture, he'd have been like, ooh, psycho alert, going away. So what happens is that young Bruce is so so numb when he sees the ring. All he sees is the will to carry out what needs to be done. So he puts on the ring, he accepts the Green Lantern Corps invite, and then he points the ring at the guy who killed his parents, and he wants the guy dead. Nothing happens. The ring says, fatal programming overridden. If you guys remember back before New 52, before Brightest Day and Blackest Night happened, a Green Lantern you can't kill. It's one thing you can't do.
Yes.
It was only overridden in the Sinestro Corps War to allow Green Lanterns to kill to make it even, because the Sinestro Corps really likes killing people. And so does the Red Lanterns, the Atrocitus Corps, and Black Lanterns are Walking Dead people. And the Avarice Corps, the Greed Corps can and probably will. In fact, if they kill you, they own your soul.
Which is bad.
Which is real bad.
Very bad.
So Bruce has such will, has such drive. He's gonna grow up to be Batman one day, right? Wrong. Dawnbreaker Batman. So his will is so strong that it overcharges the ring he's wearing to like 130%, and then he disintegrates the dude that killed his parents.
Like
Good God.
Slushy jello nastiness. And just melts this poor sucker.
Yeah, just opens the wrath of the Green Lantern on this guy. So
Can I say my favorite?
Yeah.
So he goes on a cleanup of Earth, and there's this scene where the Penguin is doing his penguin-like things. And mind you, it's the Penguin.
No.
It's the Penguin. It's not Brainiac.
Right.
It's not Metallo. It's not even Toyman. It's the Penguin.
Yeah.
A
Danny
gangster
DeVito
at heart.
Right. Sure.
And Dawnbreaker, at this point just Green Lantern, decides, you know what? I've had enough of you. And he flies him straight up into space.
Uh-huh.
And lets go of the fool and lets, asteroids smash into the Penguin on its way across our stratosphere. Wow.
Yeah.
That is hitting the delete button in a major way. I'm
So
sorry.
what
I just had to say
happens?
that.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So what happens is the Guardians take. They're called the Honor Guard of Green Lanterns, like the 15 best, and like 3 or 4 Guardians come to get him. Obviously, this is not okay. And so they come to get Dawnbreaker Batman, and he kills all them too. Which you have to realize that when Hal Jordan became Parallax, that took him a good 6 months to do. Bruce does it in a battle, in one battle.
Yep.
His will to kill is so devastatingly powerful that not even the dudes who made the ring can stand up to it. It's insane.
He literally unleashes a new form of construct that the ring cannot detect or defend against, which is just bananas.
Dude, banana sandwich with cheese. It's insane.
Yes.
It's insane.
So, it's a great setup. It's a great story, and it really inspires what Batman is about. It's about fear and subterfuge and planning, and the whole comic is just filled with it.
I want this. I want all of these characters. They're not going to be fleshed out. This is over. But this event's done. I would love to see what happens when Dawnbreaker Batman meets Sinestro.
Ooh.
Does he wield a yellow ring in one hand and the green in the other because he's that good with the green? Because really, all he really needs is yellow.
True. But he's dealing with...
Man. And his constructs are like murky and like green and like darkish. Oh, it's so cool. And even the Guardians of the Galaxy say, like, look, you're... you are like ink in a bottle of water. You are slowly murking up the waters of the emotional spectrum. You have to stop this. Yeah. You are doing something we never thought possible. Stop. And can I read his oath?
Yeah. Do it.
With darkest black, I choke the light. No brightest day escapes my sight. I turn the dawn to midnight. Beware my power, Dawnbreaker's might.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps. Mufasa. I got goosebumps. I love it. It's so cool.
Yes.
And with that, I mean that's all the dark Batman.
Yes, that's what the Dark Knights is about in the title. The metal in the title just goes right back to all the metals in and around the DC universe, both in space and found on Earth, and how it interacts with the storytelling mechanic. So yeah. Dark Knight's metal.
We learn that Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman have a code word for when they need help.
And that's from the DC Trinity days, apparently.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, that's some great deep storytelling that true fans would love, and new ones would be like, really? That's cool. I guess we've already talked about favorites because we know yours is Dawnbreaker.
Well, it is. It is for a lot of reasons. I mean, what makes him creepy before his battle with the Guardians is when he says his own oath. And what you have to know is that an oath is immensely powerful in the Green Lantern universe because saying the oath is the time it takes to charge your ring. So it's like it's a moving meditation for them. So and not only that, but it is the thing. Back in the original Green Lantern days, it's what he didn't have an oath, but Alan Scott often talks about he had to say an incantation to charge his ring. He had to say a magic spell to charge his ring from the green fire in which it came. And so that's how an oath got started. Was Jeff Johns saw that well, hey, Alan Scott had one. It was a magic spell. But we should pay tribute to that. So the fact that they took time to write Homeboy an oath.
Yes. And
that it is so perfectly balanced with what Batman is, Because nothing's changed. His parents are still dead, and to deal with it, he put on a persona to handle his business, to mourn. And that's the same in all of these universes. There is always a Batman. It's not, his parents are all dead in every one of these. Nothing's changed. Only the single event that made him turn. And that's what's so brilliant about this. I mean, Devastator, Murder Machine, the Batman Who Laughs, the Drowned, the Merciless, the Red Death, which, by the way, the Red Death has a fleet of glowy red bats.
Yes.
That can fly around and steal people's life force. So holy crap. As if Batman trapped inside of Barry Allen's body wasn't scary enough.
Nope. Now we have steely bats.
Yeah. Look, honey, the bats are eating mosquitoes and my will to live. No. Yeah, guys, you need to go pay Rob some love. Tell him we sent you.
Oh, heck yeah, man, because you're in for a good story. You don't have to watch it in the entire 4.5 hours. You can, I'm sure on his channel, he probably has this marked in a certain spot as a playlist, and you can listen to it sequentially, and they're probably 15 to 20, 25 minutes per segment. We just did, I literally rolled it a little at a time, just going to my library and clicking it, and it would just bring me to the next spot.
Yep.
But the story is worth investigating. I'm planning on grabbing the book. I know James is too.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
And this deals with Hawkman and Nth Metal. So if you're like, wait a minute, Hawkman and Hawkgirl, their mace is made of Nth Metal. You're not wrong. And I didn't want to skip past that. And this whole thing starts with Hawkman and him investigating, and Batman collecting pieces of Nth Metal, and Hawkman doing the same thing. And why are they doing it? We are purposefully staying super vague. I know, podcast gold. Larry's shaking his head. And okay, that's the officer's equivalent of you flipping me off, and I don't appreciate it. Don't think I don't know what you're doing.
Tell him you're offended. Tell him he has to take sensitivity classes. Tell him.
Don't flap your wing.
HR will deal with you.
Don't you? Anyway, we realize this. Okay, we're doing this because this story is when a guy who grew up reading Marvel comics. I'm talking about Rob. When a guy who grew up reading Marvel comics and says that Marvel is near and dear to his heart, says that he started reading DC comics because of his YouTube channel and viewers started requesting more DC content, turns around and says that Dark Knight's Metal is the best story he's ever read, and Marvel should collect their prizes at the door because this story is so impressive.
Yeah.
That should move you to go to your local comic book shop or go to Barnes & Noble or get on the Amazons or whatever and clickety-clack Dark Knight's Metal and pick this series up. It is incredible. It just wrapped. I hope that you go out and buy it. Support DC. Maybe if we buy a lot of the right comic books, they'll make the right movies.
Exactly. And the thing is, everything starts with a good idea, and sometimes those ideas get off track or just too many chiefs and not enough people just stay on the course. And luckily, the writing is solid in DC Comics, both in the comic book and animated movies, that you can have some hope. We're not intentionally ignoring the fact that everyone else is doing a Marvel month right now. We just wanted to give love to this story. Guaranteed next episode is going to be a Infinity War spoiler cast.
Yeah, if I can fit it in.
Oh, you don't have your tickets yet? I thought you had your tickets.
No, I don't. It's been with my workload is tripled. So.
Oh my gosh! Maybe Mike will do a spoiler cast. We are going to do that to James.
The hell he will. Not without me. You wait.
I've had my tickets bought for the last month, and Saturday at 1:30 p.m.
Nice.
The family ferry. That was weird. The family.
That
ferry
was actually my nickname in middle school. I'm not kidding.
No. A pox upon all those that would mock the bearded one. No, we will be in Lee Summit watching this movie, who is already getting good reviews, and I'm just hoping to have a fun time. And for Thanos to not drop like a high school bully. So we will see. we'll see.
Oh, also in this series, you get probably one of the best lines from the character Raven that has ever been uttered.
Going back to Dark Knight's Metal, not Marvel.
Yeah. Sorry. I was scrolling through here and it showed a picture of her and I was like, I gotta mention this. So yeah, so there's a part where Raven from Teen Titans is traveling alongside Cyborg from Our Earth and the Flash, and they're going to other multiverses to round up other Justice Leagues to help, because the book takes place a few days after the Dark Batman and Barbados pretty much take over Earth fairly easily.
Oh, stupid easily.
Like Barbados takes out Wonder Woman and Superman in a touch. In just one touch. One touch. It's
magic
a bad touch.
Blasting touch. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
It's the kind your camp counselors warned you about. It's a bad touch.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, so Raven is off, and you've got Red Death, Batman, and Murder Machine, and I think the Batman Who Laughs is also there, but he's not a fighter. He's not a fighter Batman.
Which is not on this level.
I guess he is towards the end, but anyway. So they're threatening Raven. They're like, "Look, just give us the drive core to your ship that can go between all the positive multiverses, and we'll kill you really fast. Just give up." And she says, "You don't know who I am, do you?" She says, "You can't scare the daughter of the devil." And then she gets her extra Trigon eyes.
Yep.
And she doesn't kill him. She just blasts them, and they're like totally powerless against her. And they end up just fleeing because they're like, "What was that?"
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Like, she scares the Batman Who Laughs. It's great.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. And you forget how powerful Raven is until you have moments like that. But anyway, I'm going to draw this one to the end, my friend.
Buddy.
How do you want to take us out, Mike?
Well, I just want to remember that there's great stories everywhere, and to make sure and check them out and to share them, because that's how we grow and experience new and awesome things. James Cameron said in an interview this past week that he hopes that Avengers fatigue sets in, that not that he wants ill will to happen, but that there's other stories to tell, both in sci-fi and others. And, in a way, he's right. There are other stories to tell, and we get excited for those, just like we get excited with the Marvel Universe. It takes time, it takes planning, it takes good execution, and those can be found anywhere. You just have to know where to look, and we're hoping through podcasts like this that you experience them. So go out, read something, listen to something, and then tell a friend about it. Either by sharing this podcast, we hope, or by sharing the material that you stumbled on. Let us know if you would.
Yeah, I was going to say, let us know so we can shout you out during the podcast. Thank you for sharing it, and we'll do an episode about what you want to do. Go ahead, Mike.
And I was talking, and now I don't know what to say because I'm apparently 5. No, I was just going to say exactly what James did, you schmuck. Before that happened, I
get excited, man.
So, yes, and like my dog, you pee everywhere. Stop.
I told you not to mention that on the podcast.
I told you not to wear adult diapers on the internet. I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's what we've got today, dear listener. Thank you for tuning in and for listening to nerds completely lose it.
That's how I spend my Wednesdays.
A good story, because you know what? Everybody should enjoy quality entertainment. Catch you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. For Last to the Party, I've been Mike.
I've been James. Thanks for tuning in, dear listener. The app's really, really close to being finished.
He keeps teasing it. I don't think it's actually real. I think it's like a cardboard box, and it looks like a phone, and there's a button with L2TP on it, and he just keeps pressing it, and it makes sounds because there's like an infant phone underneath it. That's all it is, isn't it? Tell the truth.
It just makes ostrich noises. That's all it does. Which was my first initial idea, was to charge 50 cents and release it on April Fool's and have it
That's
just be an
messed up.
ostrich soundboard.
That's weird.
Well, an ostrich and like a curse word beep, which would pretty much sum up half our podcast. Okay,
Half
guys.
your podcast.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. The app is almost finished. I appreciate your patience with it. Mike, thanks for letting me interrupt you week after week. Guys, we're coming up. We're around the corner. We can see the top of the hill. It's episode 100.
Oh, yes.
And Mike and I already know what we're going to do. Do you know what we're going to do? Do you want to know what we're going to do? Maybe you should go back and listen to past episodes. Maybe we said it the whole time.
We may be. That
Maybe. Yeah. We love your guys' faces. We'll catch you next time.